were doing, which was loading an ADT file. Actually, let's just load a small WMO. One without water. Because maybe it's the water. I doubt it, but maybe. Okay, so what changed? Copy everything, just in case. Okay, we're going to come down here, comment out all of this, and we're going to print out this, because hopefully this will give us the data we need. Hopefully it will work with one of those. Yep. Actually, it should work perfectly with just I. Alright, so this will be an interesting test. And we can keep going with this file. Oh, okay. Yes, yes, load, load. Alright, so that's probably the problem. UV map is consistently 0. Well, as far as this is concerned. So this may not be a problem with that at all. It's probably a problem with something over here. Actually, no, it is a problem over here because this is where it's created. And actually, yeah, let's do others. Just in case. Good. Okay, so now we actually need to come through here. And let's just try doing a... Because our goal is to actually get, the UV value to actually show up as something. Once it does, then we can actually move on. Okay, there's that. Alright, we don't need those two. Okay, so here it's actually saying it's null. So, obviously, we're still in the middle of getting the data correctly sent. So, we'll send it off. Come back over here. Process object. And up here. There we are. Oh, and one thing I did, obviously, I can't remember if I told you about this or not, but I got it to actually import only a single WMO if you select them from a group. Because if I was to import this beforehand, it would do all sorts of stuff. Oh, there we go. We're getting numbers. So, we actually got the value we want. Yay! So now we can probably re-enable all that other code. And it should work just fine. We'll comment that out. And it's, we can actually remove everything but the integer now. Because now we know that the integer is the one we want. All the Lightwave IDs are actually integers of some form. Stored in a void. Okay. So hopefully this works. Nope. Okay, so we're still running into the projection type issue. And if we can't set projection type, well, maybe we can set other things. Alright, let's see how this works. This is one of the reasons why you always want to choose a small WMO or part of a small WMO in order to just test things. Because, right now, at least, the code is taking so long to process each block. The smaller ones you choose, the less time it takes to read the block. Alright, break. Okay, is like text function just not working? Or is layer ID invalid? Texture layer ID. And I. Oh no, I'm sorry. %I. And text layer ID. Yes, stop debugging. Close. And this will still crash out, but, you know, at least we'll get information that we need. Oh, no, it won't, actually. That's right. Texture layer IDs are actually being set. Okay. If we come in here... Nope. Okay. This is exactly the spot where we're having problems. Let's see if this works. Possibly, possibly not. It shouldn't make a difference because it was that's exactly the code we were using earlier, and it was working just fine. Huh. Nope, we're still crashing out. Well, it says the texture layer is valid. So... And Texture Funk has been doing stuff. Create color. Text name. Add layer. Huh. This makes absolutely no fucking sense. I apologize for swearing, but... what the hell? Lord Frieza! The fuck? And I had this working with this exact file earlier. Ah. And because this is a problem in the Lightwave import part... Actually, no. Well, it is. Okay. Yeah, it's getting to set projection type. Let's see if ADTs are having this problem. Probably not, because they don't have textures yet. Now, I haven't finished the ADT file reader part. So you'll notice that there's no water at the moment. Also, for some reason, it doesn't do a smooth surface. So, you know, I have no idea why smoothing's not enabled when it clearly should be. But, you know, ADTs seem to work. I was actually kind of hoping to start WMO work, because I'd love to start working on doodads. Yeah. Crash. Okay, so... So if I disable that... but leave this the same, will it still crash out? Alright. Azeroth, buildings, Stormwind. Let's load that. Why do we do that? Because then it will keep to this directory. Okay. Why is it still crashing out then? Another instance of text layer. Well, texture layer. Interesting. So for some reason this texture layer is, failing. I'm not entirely sure what to do with that information. Also don't know what I've done recently that would cause this problem. Alright, so that worked. So I'm going to start this up so I can show you what I discovered today. Well, last night. Actually, yesterday night. Or was it the night before? Recently, I discovered something. So I was going through our, the WoW game that we loaded up last time. And I was like, okay, I want to be able to see the geometry. So I went looking to see, okay, is there a way I can do get the wireframe so I can see it live? And the answer was no. Well, at least not with my version. Apparently there are apps out there that will modify the memory for later versions. At least there were. I don't know if they still exist or if they're still usable. But, most of them will actually let you, view the wireframes. And that's interesting, but here's the problem. I can't find them because they're so out of date. Alright, so, yeah, actually does load that. Cool. Okay, so there is water here. And just to prove to you, you can see it right there. Now, you'll notice that right here, it has a little bit of an edge to it. Well, when I was going through the geometry, well, eventually I decided, okay, I'm going to get this geometry. I need to see what it looks like. So I downloaded like DX Ripper or the 3D Ripper DX, and I got into this area and I loaded it up and I ran it through the system and loaded it up. And this is what I ended up with. Well, no, this isn't what I ended up with, but this is, almost what I got. And if I look in here, I can see, okay, this is one chunk of water. Now here's the whole thing that got captured. And right here is where my character was. But this is the water that's directly in front of us. So it's, that is the water for this chunk. And you notice here we have a little lip that's on the edge. However, in here, we don't. Right there is the edge, and you can see that these polygons, for some reason, or some way, have been squished down. And these ones have been squished up from the next chunk. I also noticed that it looks like the water is basically at touching that edge, effectively. Yet if we come in here, let's go to top-down view. You can see here, that water is way up here and not there. So obviously there must be some way of, some flag or something that will shrink the points. Because at least vertically, the polygons are too far apart. Now you can't trust the here they're nice perfect squares. Here you see that they are not perfect squares. However, you can't trust their shape. All you can do is trust their shape in relation to other points. So if we look here, these 2 points. So this little slice in the geometry is right next to that point. If we come back to here, we can see that, okay, there's that, but there's no points near it. So obviously, this obviously gets shrunk because this is actually shorter than all the others. But these, right here, this needs to be closer to that. So why isn't it? And that is, I think, where the flags come in, or whatever that that data is. Because when we were, what? No, that's not what I want. Let me load up the geometry. Oh, that's actually a possible concern. Alright, Azeroth, Stormwind. Yeah, this is 102, I believe. Alright, so let's go down to the Emlik. So as you can see, there's all sorts of data here, but there's our float, followed by 124. Why? What are these flags meaning? Now, I don't know, maybe we should be taking the float from it. Or maybe it should be, we inverse it, but now, yeah, at least the border's squished, but the geometry, distance. I thought about bounding box, but if that was true, why is it only affecting the water? Why is the bounding box surrounds the whole damn thing, telling us the absolute extent of the whole system? But looking back here in the liquid section, we have one byte after a float that tells us, a whole bunch of data. What does 124 mean, though? That's the big question. When we come back over here, there's another float, and then another 124. And then we come here, and look, there's 86. 86 seems to be the most common one. So, how does 86 basically mean, shrink by this value? I mean, maybe it's divisible by 255, the maximum for an integer? Or an unsigned integer? If so, means that some are scaled and in weird ways. Also, how do you apply it? Is that per point? Well, it'd have to be per point because these are each vertexes. That is possible. That is very possible. But with everything being, 86 and only a few being ones like 124, it's very odd to me. And, that's just an example of what's going on here. And hopefully that also tells us, how to shrink, this edge down to where, this should be. Except if you look back in here, all of this, except for the border edge right here, is scaled uniformly. At least, along the x-axis, or the z-axis. And if we take a look at the x's, we can see that, okay, it lines up with about that edge for the inside one. Let's check that out here. And you can see, no, this lines up almost exactly. And then on the other side, it's, pretty much the same. Except it shouldn't be. So there's definitely some scaling this way needing to happen. So there's definitely some scaling issues with the water itself. I am unaware of any offsets, and, it could be that those offsets are for, let's see. No, where's the... Oh, there it is. It could be those offsets are to take you to a hardened place that's, this data. But then what does this data mean? I mean, there's exactly, 90 in here. So, if we take two, if we take one, okay, that makes no data. And there, okay, that seems like an interesting float. And then that looks, nothing like a float. And back to a different interesting float. But if we assume that these are floats, 977, that's not something you multiply by. Let's go the other way. Nope. What about here? Nope. Here? Nope. Because the mesh I get out of DX Ripper is highly deformed. I actually had to do a lot of editing just to get it to look like this. Let me give you an example. Here's a... Let's see. Here is pretty much raw data. And you can see that it's tilted and all sorts of wonkiness. Also, it's always zeroed out to where the character is when the thing is captured. So, trying to get them to line up would take a lot more editing than normal. Now, here's the really funky part. When we get up to, this next piece. And I don't know why there's, all sorts of two-line polygons going across. I think that may be an issue with DX Ripper. But look at this. This actually cuts the geometry. I mean, it'd be one, it'd be one thing if it actually, shrunk or modified it, but no, it's cutting it. So that's actually probably closer to what's going on here. Is that it's saying, go to point 1, go to point 2, and then make a cut. So... And for some reason, maybe this is, DX and not WoW, but the fact that it can actually do a cut like this, and it comes out like this, that says something. I mean, live geometry modeling, or remodeling for the engine, that's pretty damn nice. Because if you look at what we export, when we do, try to get those edges, it's basically, straight. We just get the boxes. We're not doing any cutting, though. That's true. And they do have bounding box volumes in this, so it could be that they have one or even two. But that's not something we read. And even with a bounding box, how's that going to explain why this is cutting along the edge? I have no explanation for the cuts. No. It's cut. I thought it was squished, but no, look at it. If it was squished, then, there wouldn't be additional points. There are, points here as if somebody just said, okay, cut the polygons we have and just, work with it like that. Hey, Purgatory. We're trying to figure out what the geometry, system is for the water, because yeah, look at this. If it was just moved, they would just, take this and go, okay, it's about there. And that would, basically even that hole out. But no, instead they did a cut. They added 2 more points with one small polygon in between. And that's basically live from the raw data. They made that change. I updated, let's see. So I updated wowdev.wiki with this information because I found that it just wasn't as up to date as I would like. They had in here as part of the header x times verts of 2 floats, and no, it's not. It's it's int 16 times 2, or maybe even car times 4, and then the height float. And then it's followed by, tiles by tiles of U8. So that's all, up to date on the WMO files on wowdev.wiki. And you can see here I actually wrote either the unknown data or the types must somehow control the points at the edges. And look at 3D mesh screen captures. Something is changed to create a flat edge where it meets MQL chunks. After I wrote this, that's when I found out it looked like it got cut. First unknown is always 0 when a point isn't used. Other seen values have been 1, 4, 12, 22, 27, 31, 105, and 124. Possibly, but how do you do that with a single character? Basically, you have 0 to 125. Well, 1 to 255. And you have to somehow define an entire slope off of only that data. Now, Pink Hair did suggest that, maybe it's an offset. Okay. An offset from what, though? And we go, okay. And there's some numbers. There's some more. More and more. And now we're actually getting to data. But it's almost always 86. So let's check 86. Okay, so 86 in. 0. Followed by 0. Okay. What about 124 in? No, that gets into a weird number. No, it's very clearly a cut. If you look at the geometry here, this is clearly taken from point A to point B and then cut along there, and then the additional points are created and geometry, and then it's triangulated. Yeah. So here you'd actually have a 5 point poly. But it it basically says, nope, we're going to, since we see that cut, we're just going to triangle that. Yeah, I probably look sick, but literally was woken up. I decided I wanted to take like a 2-hour nap, and I was like, okay, guys, wake me for dinner. And, apparently people said, no, don't wake him. And then they were like, hey, don't you have a stream? And I was like, oh, what time is it? Like 2 minutes before your stream starts? Ah! Right now we're using 2.4.3 for the emulation. So that's where our source data is. Now, technically speaking, we're actually running, all our source files here are actually coming from 2.0, but I don't think that the format changed in there. In fact, the format never changes for WMOs. They add things, but they never change the format. And mliquid has basically never changed. I mean, if I could find an mliquid chunk in a modern, like version 6.x WMO, I would be able to give you a perfect example. Undercity would have them. So the question is, which file in Undercity is it? Maybe, but in looking at the geometry here, let's just assume that this is a perfect example of a polygon that would never be touched by anything in the editor. This has a value of 86. I don't know why, but it does. And every squared one that is not touched has a value of 86. So, what are the values of this one? I don't know. But, what it probably actually is. But I've seen values of 1. I've seen values of 124, 105. I don't know what these numbers mean. But using a single, 0 to 255 number, you have to be able to declare a way of cutting this, making this cut, saying this is where the cuts are, and then polygon it. Now it's probably the engine that's just going, okay, polygon. So where's the data that says cut? The downside is I don't think I can duplicate that. Also looking at it, let's come down here. You see how these both line up almost perfectly? Yeah, I don't know if that's a result of the editor or if that's what the data actually is, or the image capture. You notice that these two line up perfectly. And here's the thing that bugs me. Those two datas line up perfectly. Let's load up 101. Oh no, 103. Because that is the one that, connects right here. If we load this up, we'll actually see that the geometry for the water does not match up, even though they're both using the same code. So they're both using the same code to determine where the geometry should be built. So obviously that one number, 86 or whatever, somehow offsets everything. It scales the water itself to be where it wants it, and then it scales the edges here with a single 8-bit number, or 8-bit. And I have absolutely no idea how they're doing it. The more I'm thinking about it, the more I'm thinking Pink Hair's right. It's probably an offset to something. Yeah. Because, these just, a single number somehow, gets this to perfectly line up. Yeah. Gets this to perfectly line up, and we can compare it to here. It comes up to this edge. This line comes up almost perfectly to the outer edge of this part. This barely touches the point here. You get all the lines here. Well, I basically have all the wows except for 5. Ooh, Invincible. I love this music. But yeah, here. If we come back to here, you can see, okay, this one sort of matches up, but this line needs to be right here. And this line, is in the middle of this. So somehow, yeah, I need to, give me a second. The system I'm currently using doesn't do whispers, so I'll jump over to minimize that and check it out. This is the next piece we're going to be talking about. This actually digs into this one significantly, so this all has to be scaled somehow. All right. No. There we go. All right. Do. Okay, I think I actually have this, but I will definitely give this a shot. Oh, no, that's the wrong directory for that. Yeah. And I'm kind of at the point where I'm just going to say, screw it, this is close enough. Yeah, I don't think this version has... thanks for sending this to me, Pink Hair, but I'm pretty sure this version doesn't have wireframes. I could be wrong, though. So let's... so many programs open. Let me start up the server, and we'll open up WoW and give it a shot. Alright, Realm D. Good. And then the main goes. Let's make sure that this actually is still connected to that. Good. How's this coming? Still loading. Alright, there they go. All done with that. Oop, too many. And I was working on this character to try and get to our main test with, Fenrir Keep. Okay. Yeah, I'm not seeing a option to go to wireframe mode. I think wireframe mode was added later. So, okay, let's see. And there's spectate mode, which is nice. Chase cam. It says type help for a list of available commands. Where do you type help? Oh, right there. Huh. Injects weather control. Toggles spectate mode. Yeah. Oh. Command and question mark. See additional help. Alright. Nope. Well, maybe I need to go to a Wrath of the Lich King version, but I still want to, not go any farther than that. Yeah, but, right here, this is the edge that we were looking at earlier. I can't see a damn thing. Although, looking straight down, and now we're so far away that it actually, says, oh, it's not loaded. Interesting that these are still loaded, though. It's two separate sections, near as I can tell. We have the dividing line about right here in the middle of the screen. And on one side, it belongs to one WMO. On this side, it belongs to a different WMO. And there's a split, or a cut, right about here, going across, polygons that should be going like this. It just cuts straight across them on both of them. They both have that setting. So, Pink, while we're looking at this, if you could do a little bit of research, maybe it's a 3.0 that we need to do. Do a 3.3.5. Or whatever the last version of Wrath of the Lich King was. And unfortunately, I can't, come through here and, go, okay, it's right there, because I can't see him. So yeah, I could probably also set up a WoW 3 server. Huh. The seam? Yeah, sure looks that way. Which means the water directly above us is what's being cut, if that's true. So from here to about there. Actually, I'm just noticing that these 2 points aren't exactly touching. This seam is a lot better. Well, okay, that's probably enough of that. And we'll give that a moment. We'll close that first, and then close the other one. Alright, so Azeroth, buildings, Undercity. Oh no, that's not in Azeroth. That's in Cosmodan. Okay. Lordaeron, there we go. Trust the fall. Trust the fall. Okay, so in one of these is a liquid. Okay. So I'd have to go through these to find out which one, but yeah, there should be the Undercity slime somewhere in here, which would be a water. So that's something we can look at. But even so, we're still trying to figure out where does this thing come from? Because obviously, this right here needs to be scaled down so it's right about here. Yes, it does. And you know what I see when I enable it? Nothing. Alright, so... Oh. Forgot. Here, let me show you what... Gotta get my servers back up. Not sure. Probably. Okay, so servers launched. Now we're in here. We'll enable that. I believe it's 11. There we go. That's with the... I'm looking about now. So wireframe view doesn't really help. All I'm doing is just rotating around. And it's basically saying, you know, it gives me a lot of the data. But there is something over the whole screen that's just blocking everything. If I disable textures, that still doesn't give me very much. Alright. Nope. Still covered in everything. I think that has to do with the, you know, the full screen, you know, alerts! Yeah. Well, it's definitely, you know, I think it's the alerts. You know, they have a wireframe right in front of you that's designed for all the, you know, edge glows and such. Now, maybe we can fix that, now that I think about it. Alright. Combat. Display. Edge screen flash. Okay. Nope, still there. Let's turn off combat text. Maybe that's what that is. Nope. Alright, that didn't help anything. Okay, we'll try that. Video, hardware cluster, maximized, full screen glow effect, death effect, specular lighting, character shadows. Ah, there we go. Good thing I know this land so well. Okay, yeah, look. Here it is. Right on the edge. Right on the slice. So the geometry is kind of messed up here. But you know, I'm not seeing all those extra. Oh no, I am. There's that one big polygon. Huh. So yeah, glow effect. Awesome. Wow, low quality wow from back in the day. Oh yeah, it definitely is. Now, see, here's the slice. You can see it clear as day. I'm standing on it. I don't know why this slice is here. That seems kind of stupid. But you can see, you know, they basically made one huge polygon. And it's just, you know, continuing on like that forever and ever. And it connects all, and all connects up. But here they just did a clean little slice. And I don't know how they got that. Actually, I don't know if it's bad modeling, but it's definitely bad coding. Of course, I'm, you know, not doing much better. Well, let's start looking here. We have liquid rect types, and then it comes out down here. Mori. Or Morb. Triangle strip indices? Does nobody know what that is? I mean, that could be an offset for the M liquid type. But it's determining certain indices, huh? And then there's vertex colors. Morber. Morbo's not happy. And the BST. Yeah, but that's just listing, you know, indices. Now, granted, it could be listing just the two indices to cut from, and then there's something in the engine that just says, okay, from this point to this point, cut a straight line. I mean, actually, now that I think about it, no, that's straight cut there. And that's straight cut there. So now that's in the mesh. So somehow, now I don't think that's it, because you still need to be able to modify the chunks. Light references, let's go all the way up to, let's do at least group. Alright, so, group header, liquid type related. See below in M liquid chunks. Okay. Ow. Ow. Group ID. Can cut terrain. WAD plus. Interesting. Number of batches A. Number of batches exterior and interior. Index into MOP R. Number of items used from the MOP R. MOP R chunk? Ah, portal references. Okay. Descriptive name, flags, bounding box, same as in Mogai. Yeah, bounding boxes are basically just saying, from point A to point B, this is a box. So all it's ever going to be is 2 3-point floats. Group flags. Has verticolors. Has lights. Has doodads. Oh, we can actually check to see if it has water. Neat. Is not water, but ocean. Liquid type related. 8,000. Oh, 80,000. Huh. All right. Material info. Indices for triangles. Vertices chunk. Normals. Texture maps. Render batches. Batches are groups of faces with the same material ID and they're used to accelerate rendering. Note the client doesn't use them in the same way rendering in 3D or OpenGL. Only Direct 3D uses all batch information. Vertex blah 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 blah. Okay. Lights, doodads, nodes of BSP tree. Used for collision. Mobar. Faces for Mobin. Moc. Vertex colors for indoor gliding. Then we're to the liquids. Yeah, we still don't know what UNT 8, the X tiles by time Y tiles is, nor do we know what this earlier data is. I mean, they could be floats. They could be well, they're not floats. They could be all sorts of flags. Who knows? We don't know what Ori is. Ori is, but I have a feeling it's not connected to that. I think it's probably more accurately connected to more B. Yeah, look, start index count. So it's probably reading into this. Object tangent array. What? And then we got some stuff that's new in WAD and Missa Pandaria. So nothing in there. See a list of textures, materials. We definitely need to do a little bit more with this. Shader types. I don't know if we're ever going to do anything with that. List of group names, group info, skybox info, portals, more portals, visible block vertices. Just a list of vertices that corresponds to the visible block list. Visible block list. And you notice, this is basically listing vertices. This is a bunch of vertices. So it's obviously connected there. And that looks very similar to what we saw down below. Specific light information. And this is actually something I want to write a light for. Attenuation start and attenuation end. You don't have something like that for Lightwave. So being able to build a WoW specific light would definitely be interesting. Of course, I have absolutely no idea how to do that with Lightwave. Chunk defines doodad sets. List of names for models. Doodad instances. Fog information. Convex volume planes. Contains blocks of floating point numbers. These are used to define the volume when you are inside. Important for transports. Okay, so this is basically saying as long as you're inside this volume, you're safe from falling off. And then Jita from Legion. And then we're back. So yeah, I'm not finding any information. Okay, I gotta use the restroom. So we're gonna take a short break here. I'll turn up the music and I'll be right back as quickly as I can. Well, actually, yeah, they have far attenuation, but you'll be able to specify where the attenuation starts. So, you could have a point light right here and have the fall off over here, but, that means it's going to go from here to here. In WoW, you can have the point light here, but it starts to fall off here. So it's, it only falls off from here to here. So it changes where that is. That would be why we do that. All right, really leaving. Okay, back. Feeling much better now. Alright. Yeah, tiresome Jay, I am here. I just had to use the restroom and there was a line. I do not like living in a house with only one bathroom. Thank you. Okay. Oh. So. Let's turn that off for a moment. So, okay, so somehow there's data that says, okay, take this point, now blow them up. Don't like it? Well, try adjusting them. Put them into a new spot. So, shrink them down. Yeah, look. It lines up almost perfectly with the edge right here. And this one, it's not quite perfect, but it's far closer than what we have. So, and yet they still look kind of squarish. I don't know, maybe there's some sort of multiplication system I need to be using. Huh, that one barely touches. And then it's sliced right here. I do like how they shade the wireframes. That's nice. And they could have just gone with, you know, white or unshaded. So yeah, somehow they tell it to just slice in between right here, and then they build, you know, then they triangulate it on the fly. And maybe that's what it is. It's not a scaling thing, it's a slicing thing. So I wonder if I counted out the number of polygons from here, you know, down to here, would I find that these two are missing? In fact, look here, we have, you know, an inset here. And then it just pretty much goes, yeah. And then there's another inset, and then another. Let's check over here. Crap. Okay, so... Alright, there's one inset. Almost immediately where the slice is. So if we compare that to here, the slice would be here. And then immediately... Well, not quite immediately. So these are definitely off, because, you know, they definitely need to be scaled somehow. I'm not sure how, but they do need to be scaled. Because this edge needs to be just right about here. This edge needs to be just about here. Pardon me? Alright, and this edge right here actually needs to be a little bit farther out. They also have to be offset a little bit. Notice how these two notice how the water blocks on both of these don't quite match up. So obviously there's something there that needs to be corrected. Okay, it looks like it's pretty straight where the bridge is. And then it comes out 2 before it starts going in. So... Nope. Here it's just like barely to the other side of the bridge. Oh, no textures. Neat. So yeah, we're right here at the edge of the bridge, and the water... Oh. My mistake. So it lines up pretty much with that and the boat. So let's check that in Lightwave. Yeah, that might be okay, but ours actually is right here. So this needs to be, scaled this way or pushed that way. So there's definitely some scaling issues, because this should probably be closer to where this one is. So, we still have to figure out what those both mean. Alright, let's check out the game files. We're gonna take a good look at Azeroth. Buildings. Stormwind. 103. I don't know why I need to do this twice. Okay, so 3,000, that's a lot. What are the tile numbers? 28, 14, so it's 28 by 27. Actually, no, it's 28 pixel, 28 points times 14 points. So 27 tiles times 13. And it has that offset first. Oh no, wait. What's this number? I know this number is important, I just can't remember what it is. Looks like 2 floats. Is that the min and max? No, I don't think LWO has min max. Oh, the base coordinates. So that's our origin. So that's the Z on our origin. Actually, no, that's height. That's 1. So offset by that, followed by that, so there's our offsets, and then we get our first height. Okay, so origin, followed by material ID. Okay, so I was actually off a little bit. So those two is our material ID. So followed by floats, followed by data, followed by a float, followed by data. Or am I doing this wrong? Yeah, 86. So our first height is 0. With data of 86. Or no, is it? No, I'm sorry. It's data first. So the data of 86. And then a float of negative 6.4, which is what, everything is. So wherever 0.1 is. So if we, if we enable vertices, you can see, okay, there's our first point. That's at 0, and then negative 6. And it's got a value of 86. Actually, no, we got a couple of here that are blank first. Then, so I think it's this one that's 86. Yeah, right here. That says 86. I don't know why. Because that should be a sliced one. Then we go to our next one. Or are we doing this vertically? I can't remember. Oh, yeah, we are. So, 0, 0, 86, 86. And then the float, 86 again. A float, 86. And so on and so forth. Now here we got a float and then 0. Because I think that means, the next chunks, it's basically, whole bunch of missing points. Because, from here down to here, there's nothing. So it equals 0 definitely means don't show. So we'll skip all that. And now we're back to 86 on the next layer. Which is right here. And then we got the float. And then 86 again. And float, and then 86. So 86 keeps showing up. I'm not sure why. I mean, we went through the slice, and it stayed, the same. So there's no telling right now what the hell this number means, this 86, because I've also seen it be 104, 102. Well, it was one of those two. What did I say in here? Yeah, 105, 124. I've seen it be 31, 27, 22, 12, and 4. So, what the hell? What do those numbers mean? Are they an offset into... But what are they offsetting into? Are they offsetting into here? I mean, tiles by tiles. I mean... Let's look into that. Alright, let's come down here. Alright, so there's a float. And... Oh, no, wait. Yeah, see, there's 105. And then followed by the float. And now we're into the new chunk. So let's go 85 into here. So 106. Okay, this would be 86 in. I'm not seeing a whole lot of diversity in terms of, things, but I do know that, 0F, 15 is the flag for, don't show, don't render. So what's this? What's this? Why do you have two flags in here? Why is there, always an 86 if you also come down here and say, hey, don't render? Or render, but do this. Or render and do that. I mean, this is basically one per polygon is all this stuff. So on top of whatever command you have up here, you also have, a flag down here. One, at least one of which says don't render. This is just giving me a headache. Well, at any rate. Why is that not... Oh. Well, it should be. It should be registering as double-sided. Water. I could probably just say, just go with this and just leave the geometry basically alone, saying, here you go. You can use this if you want, or you could rip it out and use something proper. At least until we get a little bit more data figured out. That's probably the best option. Okay, so what change... Oh, god damn it. I think I know what the problem is. It's this. Frack. Oddly enough, this worked on another project. Worked over here. Local surface, local data, surface chunk, and surf by name, local surface, local data, name, null, 16, surface chunk, which is this. Well, with this, I can actually, head into Project Stormwind and do a visual difference. Alright, creating materials. Okay, we got that. Let's head back in here. I wonder if I used both. I have no idea what this will do. Maybe it will make everything work. Maybe it won't. Maybe it will just ruin Ferenginar. Sorry, I've been watching a lot of Star Trek DS9. Haha! We crashed. What did we crash doing? We crashed doing something. Local object, huh? Don't I have a name in here? Apparently not. Alright, so we have two creation functions. That should be enough. I don't know if we need a selection function after that. And they're both using the same name, so... What's going on out there? Nope. It's probably saying that, hey... Okay, which means it's having a problem with this. I think the problem is that we're trying to create a surface that we've already created. So let's try this. Yes, we will stop debugging. We will close the program just so we can reopen it again. Alright. Truly, sir, your evil knows no bounds. I know. Ooh, the Thunder King. and his mountainous hordes of mountains. Okay, well, they all have the normal map applied to them, but they don't have anything else applied to them. So, let's close that. I think we can safely close this for right now. We've moved on to other things for now. Alright. I'll close the server. We might need that. Okay, so right now, Matt is being... I don't think Matt is being selected. It's not selecting, what we need it to select. So, let's do a quick little search. Up. Material. Next, shader. No, not shader. Mesh info, ray tracing, file formats, globals, classes. Alright, so not material. Okay, maybe it is this one. This is shader handler. If I wanted to write something different, maybe. Surface. Layers, data, monitor. Brought to you by Mutter. Node handler. Scene converter. That could be interesting. Materials, mesh edit, global. New. Ooh, file requester. That might be interesting at some point. But not now. Oh. Alright, let me open up something. I'll actually look at my local collection of things. Because I just realized I'm looking in the completely wrong area. That was an online document. Which is not, terrible. Except it's horribly, horribly out of date. Alright, so surface functions. That's what we want. Alright, so by name, or name, yeah, by name. Constant car object. So let's come down here to by name. Okay, I'm not even seeing by name. Or by object. I wasn't looking in the right places. Returns the ID of possibly many surfaces with the given name. Different objects can have different surfaces of the same name. If object is null, the array will contain every surface ID named surface. Okay, so that might be an easy way to gain around it. Ah. Alright, so, an array of surfaces is terminated by an ID of null. Okay, so it could be that, you know, our object setting here is what's causing it to go nuts. Although it should be, you know, just fine. So it should be selecting the material. Is there any other way we can get a surface ID number? Tennis, a wise one! Actually, there we go. That is what will solve the problem. If not Matt, then continue. No reason to make everyone suffer. So this is probably going to solve all of our problems. But let's see if it even does what I want it to do. Well, there we go. That's still better. Okay, it's actually working now. That's awesome. So yeah, I think the reason why was that it returns an array, and we were, you know, we just wanted the first one. So now we can probably, you know, get all this back. And have a happy functioning plugin again. Although we need to grab the normals out of this. We probably need to create a tag or something that says, you know, get normal. Or create, you know, if normal, use this data. If not, use that data. But everything should have normals, so we'll just leave this as is. Justice League. Ah, there we go. All the normals, yeah, except for all the normals being, you know, off. So it imported just fine. Perfect. Meanwhile, at the Hall of Justice, let's see how it imports all of it. All right. Yeah. So it all imported just fine. We still have this problem with the no normal maps being applied, so we definitely need to put in a variable that lets us say, if no normal maps, do this. And if you were to get outside the instance, you could see, there's nothing here. But it imported just fine, which means our thing's working again. So now I can actually show you what I wanted to show you when the stream was starting. Well, other than, I wanted to show you, the difference between, this water and the other water. We'll still have to figure out what's going on there. So if you happen to come up with an idea and try and do some research on it if you can. I don't know if anybody else has the older data files, but we definitely want to figure out, get a way for it to match this data. Or at least as close as we can get it. Basically want it to shrink down a little bit and then be cut along two vertices. So I gotta wait the 60 seconds. So yeah, if you have an idea on how to access that data using only 8 bytes, let me know. Because if we can figure that out, that would go a long way towards solving at least 1 or 2 issues. If we get this, we might be able to get the slice going, or we might not. All right, so let's come in here, turn that off. So yeah. Now when you import, you actually get the water. It's the nice blue. You can see it's slightly transparent. And it's double-sided. For your protection. But this will just basically let you, come in and go, hey, it's all working. And I need to really go through here and, say, disable. I should probably find a way of doing that just directly when you import. At least until we can build up our own little thing. But yeah, we can come in here. We can, adjust lighting real quick. Put in a backdrop. Enable radiosity. And boom, we're ready to go. And you can see it's already a pretty decent looking water. Not great, but decent. But you could go in here and you could do all your tweaks to, make the water the way you want it, if you want. If we get farther in this, I'll definitely try to figure out how to do really nice, surfaces, and maybe write them out in hex. But we'll get to that at some point. But yeah, we gotta learn how to either slice this, or I just leave it as is. Problem is, I don't think I can slice when I do an import. Yeah, it is dead simple to emulate. You just put on a texture, but even so, just for raw importing, having nice blue water with that slightly transparent, that's definitely a good starting point. And even when you're not rendering, when you're just shaded, it's still a nice looking water. So, and this is importing using the new system. Well, it's a nice unified system, which is useful for when you're trying to debug. Why is it taking so long to do stuff? Because if we look at the log, let's see, come down here. All right, it read the file in 0 seconds. It then had to build the data in 73 seconds. It then imported it, so getting from the system into Lightwave took 0 seconds. Total running time 73 seconds. So. I'm not looking for that specific help just yet. I mean, I actually know pretty much how to do a WoW style surface. It's actually lighting. I found that, if you want WoW lighting, don't use radiosity and set ambient intensity to 25. So if I turn off the radiosity now, that's, pretty old WoW. Oh, no, wait, I'm sorry. I had that number wrong. It's got to be 50. Yeah, this is classic WoW look. But, we still got a long way to go. True. We still got a long way to go in terms of, getting this set up for quick and easy work. I mean, we still have to be able to import, lamps and stuff that can be turned on at night. We've got, we got to figure out the models and be able to put doodads everywhere. Being able to place down WMOs with all sorts of stuff, that's, still has to come, so. And actually, that's one of the reasons why we switched over to the new writing system. Because if we actually come here to WMO, when we come down here, here's what we're doing. We call the object. That's where it's read. Then we we do the build, and that creates import data. And import data, is a single object. And with that single object, we can actually come in here. Let's go to that definition. No, this definition. I'm sorry. You can see here, okay, a single thing can have multiple layers, multiple lights, and then, it has material data. But each layer contains children of imports. So I could actually put in here and create one entire layer that has all the doodads. At least that's the goal. But that also contains, the point data, the, polygon data, any bones that we might need, point counts, unused points. Layers aren't going to need lights. So that's why I left them out in the big guy. But by creating this modularly like this, I can actually go in here and say, okay, I think I actually did it here. Yeah, return import data. But, was it this one I did? No. We can actually come in here and say, okay, we've been ordered to build the data, so here's all the data. We just added data to that layer, but now I can come in here and go, let's, add doodads function. And then that actually goes through and can add a brand new layer that adds all the point data for that, including any bones and anything. So, and it just gets added to this import data. That's just, the easy way of doing it. And that way, when we come back into the Lightwave importer, we tell it to import, and it says, okay, process this object. And so it goes through here and processes the object. It says, okay, this is the object that we've been given. This is our UV map. Let's go through all of its layers, write out all the points, all the polys, and everything. And then, for all the children in that layer, process that object. So, WMOs are already working on the new system. ADTs, they write their points and their polys and some other data. But it's not anywhere near ready. I still need to do the water. I still need to do... oh, no, that's about it. Just need to do the water. But still, making that modular is definitely a large step forward. Which means that we might be able to load models soon. So, yep, there we go. That solved the issue with that. Now it's normalized, it's smooth, and all that. So we actually, created, in fixing the other thing, we actually fixed the problem we had over here. Of course, it was me trying to get this to work that caused the other problem. So, yeah, I'm exhausted now. I'm exhausted, I'm hungry, I've got a stiff neck. But we got this, kind of back up and running. So I'm going to work on trying to get the water back in. That way we can get the ADTs back up to 100%. And then we can continue on. But at least this way, we can actually come in here and start doing crazy stuff like saying, okay, for all the WMOs, load them. So that's something for us to look forward to. All right. I would like to thank everyone who stopped by. I'd like to thank everyone who joined in the conversations, as you can see up here. As always, you can donate. You can also donate. Oh, the donate link down here now will take you to all the 3 places you can donate. Why 3, you ask? Well, you have Twitch alerts, which, is the one that puts up an alert over here. You can donate on Patreon, or you can donate through Hitbox, the Hitbox subscribe button. So, yeah, and with the Hitbox one, you do get that card. I forget what it is. I think it's like a game card. It's like a $5 game card or something like that. I don't remember. But yeah, you can get to all 3 donation stations with this link. So yeah, donate, follow on Twitter. I'm sorry I did not post anything on Twitter today. Again, I overslept. You can watch live over here. And as always on YouTube, please, like and subscribe. Lets me know what you like and, if I should keep doing this stuff. Let's see. There should be something else. I hope everyone had a good Valentine's Day yesterday. I did. It was exhausting, but it was good. Alright. Thanks for joining me, and I will see you tomorrow at 10 p.m. Pacific Time. Bye!